Weapon swap, weapon swap, weapon swap. That's the theme for this season. Along with range, they really want us to be swapping weapons. So we're here with our Dark Winter and Scorpio. We're going to do a bit of weapon swapping, but we're also going to test out the brand new named backpack that we've got in the game as well. So let's see how this gets on.
They maintain this outpost. The True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
Over here! Now!
Where does he think he's going?
Find some cover!
Legging it, isn't he? I'm sort like unaware of where I'm up to with the buffs with all the weapons swapping. I'm just kind of accepting that I'm getting buffs when I'm swapping weapons. The only thing I'm doing is switching to my pistol, so I know that I get the Centurion's buff, the first buff on the first gun that I switch to. They're pretty wild. Holy smacks. Whoa, where did you guys come out?
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I mean, it smacks, right? It absolutely smacks. And I'm having to use Hunter's Fury chest piece, which I don't usually like using because it's just giving you damage for longer, not necessarily bigger damage numbers. But we are replacing that damage with something else, which I kind of think might be worth it. I wasn't sure, but it feels like it probably is. I mean, yeah, high end, no messing. Absolutely no messing. Gonna be underneath me, boys. Man alive, I can't break his I didn't want to go for didn't want to go for the backpack route. We got the rate of fire and extended mag in there. Bit nice and they're up close and personal. We'll get some damage for this one. See ya. Yeah, it's really nice. The only thing is, because we've got multiple weapon switching buffs now in the game, it's just sometimes a little bit hard to know where I'm up to. I was expecting the damage buff to be on my Dark Winter when I was shooting the helmet, but it wasn't. So then that caused me not to break the helmet as quick as what I would have liked and things like that. But let's go through the build and you guys can see what you think. And obviously you might be a bit better at managing the switches than I am. So this is what I was running with. And I really wanted to try out the new named backpack. So we'll go to that first of all. So it's the Vigil. We get 30% swap speed bonus, which obviously plays again in line with what it is we were trying to do. We've got weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, critical hit damage with perfect versatile. Now that amplifies our total weapon damage for 10 seconds when swapping between your primary and secondary weapons if they are different. And as you can see here, 45% extra amp damage to enemies within 15 meters for shotguns and SMGs. So we've got to play within 15 meters. And at most once per 5 seconds per weapon type. So it kind of restricts you from just going swap, 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 swap. You know, it's making you use the weapon that you are switching to, which is why obviously you saw me use the Scorpio. And I mean, with the Scorpio, although it did take a bit of a hit, it still absolutely bangs. It's great for CC. And again, that's another theme of this build. We've got quite a lot of CC, armor on kill. Everything's built into this. There's everything that you could possibly want. Now you could drop it down if you wanted to and go assault rifles and SMGs. but it's only 15% amp damage at that point, and you've got to be within 15 to 25 meters, which makes it just a little bit more awkward. I don't think I would ever use versatile for anything but up close and personal, just because I can know that I can put myself within that range really, really easily. But if you are using seasonal modifiers, obviously you have the range gauge, and that might make this easier to use. I think we should have the range gauge in the game at all times, considering we have the new set that, you know, wants range as well as, you know, things like this that have been in the game for a long, long time. So that is that. And then obviously the Centurion's new exotic holster, and I kind of like this. So I was going to think about putting Obliterate in this build originally, but the reason I didn't is I wanted to use Hunter's Fury. And if I put this in as well, the 20% extra damage that I was going to get from using Obliterate, I kind of pick up here in this holster because of its talent. So I didn't mind making that trade-off, and I don't feel like I lose too much damage. Obviously as well, we get the 20% rate of fire, which again, another added bonus. And then with the magazine size and reload speed, again, another added bonus. The reload speed and the mag size don't benefit the Scorpio as much. So you might want to, you know, I was really trying to use my Dark Winter, so I wanted the first buff on the Dark Winter as much as possible. But that might not necessarily be the best way of doing it, because the magazine's so small on the Scorpio, you're not really benefiting as much. But again, it's just, I think, keeping up with the buffs and which gun you've got them on, you know, when you're swapping, it's hard enough doing it just for this one. You know, when you've got to, you know, bear in mind that you've got to be careful you're not overdoing it for perfect versatile as well. So I kind of just let them play out, and whichever buff I get on whichever one, you know, I can reset it by going to my gun, to my pistol, and then choosing which one I want to use from that. That will give you the first Centurion's buff, being the rate of fire and the weapon damage. So after every kind of area in a mission, you can kind of reset it so you know where you're at. But that's the only thing I tend to do. Apart from that, I just let it play out, and that seems good enough, right? That seems to work. And then Hunter's Fury across the board. So you can see here with Hunter's Fury, we get the Apex Predator for longer. We get it from 30 seconds, which means actually you can go section to section in a mission and not have to rebuild the damage that you've already built up. You know, and it's amp damage as well. You know, it's not slacking. So that is kind of nice, and it's kind of a nice substitute because we're taking the holster instead. If you wanted to look at what we were getting here, I've got weapon damage, crit chance on the mask. We get 20% armor on kill, and then we also get shotgun and SMG damage. It all syncs up very, very nicely. And just to go over Apex Predators very quickly, because, you know, that is a focus of keeping that damage up. Enemies within 15 meters, which also matches up with Versatile on our backpack, receive a debuff, amplifying our weapon damage against them by 20%. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorientates other enemies within 5 meters. Again, plays with the Scorpio. And amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds. And that'll stack up to 5 times. So that 25% there, you know, you got 45% in total. But it stays on for 30 seconds once you've capped it because of this chest piece here. Gloves, we've got weapon damage, critical hit damage. And knees, weapon damage, critical hit damage. You can use a shield or a Banshee Pulse, whichever you like. I've not got a lot of blues or anything, or no, you know, anything. I only got the 30% armor on kill in total. So I like to use the shield, but it's up to you. We've got the Reviver Hive, and if you go down, it's not a big deal. One thing I did want to notice, want to bring to your attention rather, losing my voice, is with the Dark Winter, some of the mods got changed. So we can get 10% critical hit damage on 3 mods now. Absolutely worth it. It's a huge amount of extra damage with 20 rounds in the mag. That just meant that when we came to stats, I was at 55 rather than 59 where we would usually at. But I'm quite happy to drop that 4% crit chance for that huge buff in critical hit damage. It's crazy. 147% critical hit damage before we've even hit killer, which gives us another 90%, is an insane amount of damage. The Dark Winter is so good, and the killer talent is so good right now if you're playing by yourself. And then the Scorpio as well. And just to take a little note here, my expertise levels on these guns are 22 and 25. that's going to be it for the video. It all synchronizes really, really well. Everything's within 15 meters. The weapon swaps, the guns, you know, the gear set, the shotgun, the SMG damage, the new exotic holster. It's just full of synchronization, this build, and it just plays out really, really well. Like, it's a good time. It's a lot of fun, and you'll have no problems with it whatsoever. Right, I'm going to go and find a new voice because it seems to be failing me. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I really would appreciate a sub on the channel. 60% of you that watch my videos are not subscribed, so please do consider hitting that sub button. It really does help me out. My links for Twitch and X and everything are all in my description. Feel free to join my community Discord as well if you need some help, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.